So let's stay with the NFL. And the NFL draft was in April, which had many great players that could make those teams successful or even make those teams better. Players like Joe Burrow, Chase Young, and Tua Tagovailoa were the top players. But there are some players that were drafted low and that could make a huge difference to the team. So who do you think is the biggest steal of this draft?
Well, with me speaking about linebackers, I have to go with Zach Bond out of Wisconsin. With respect to this steal position, I feel like I should mention Jeremy Chin, who is the safety, who is basically a great value version of Isaiah Simmons with his versatility in the defensive position. But I don't want to pick him because Zach Bond was an incredible steal for the New Orleans Saints. You can see, according to ESPN, he is the number 2 ranked outside linebacker behind the only incredible, like I said, Isaiah Simmons. And in many mock drafts, if you check them out, and especially on NFL.com, everyone said that Zach Bond was going to go in the first round. And the Saints got him in the third round with the 74th overall pick. That's great value for a great player. And I believe that if he develops properly under Sean Payton, head coach Sean Payton, and defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, I think he could definitely be one of the biggest draft steals of all time.
Yeah, I think the Saints can develop their young players. I mean, you have seen that they have had success, so I think adding him can help that team get farther into the playoffs. But a guy that you mentioned was Isaiah Simmons, and even though he was a top 10 pick, I think he is a really good steal. I was projected, I thought he was going to go a top 5 pick, but he can. The reason why I think he's a really good steal, even at a top 10 as a top 10 pick, he can virtually play every position on the defensive side of the ball. And you look at him, I think that's what separates him from other players in that draft. Because when if you look long term, if the Cardinals sign a player on the defensive side of the ball, like a safety or a linebacker, they can move Isaiah Simmons to any position, other position, because he's so great at playing those other positions. So I think with him, he's a great steal for the Cardinals. But another player is CD Lamb. Even though he went in the first round, he was projected to go like 10 to 15, but he went to Dallas, and that's just another weapon to an already stacked team with Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Blake Jarwin, and now him. So I think that just helps the Cowboys.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. CeeDee Lamb was definitely a steal for the Cowboys. He can be a great playmaker, and eventually he could be the next great number 88 number 88 to play for the Cowboys. You look at all the wide receivers who played before him in the jersey number 88, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant. He could definitely be just like them and live up as one of the Cowboys' greats. I definitely agree with your Isaiah Simmons pick, but like you said, I don't think he's that much of a steal because he is a top 10 pick. And if you want to talk about his versatility, I would definitely go with, as I said before, Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin played in college, and he played a lot of different positions. He, like many people have said, if Isaiah Simmons was the brand name, Jeremy Chin is the great value for a versatile
Yeah.
linebacker, and I feel like he can definitely make a huge impact as a draft steal for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, so a lot of these rookies will take time to get used to their new team, but some players will have an immediate and lasting impact on the team. So, which rookie do you think will have the best impact on their team?
I got to go with Isaiah Simmons. And respect to Tua Tagovailoa and Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. I do think as quarterbacks they will have a huge impact on their team, but I don't think it'll be right now. You're looking at the closest one of those QBs to make a big impact, just like Isaiah Simmons, is probably Justin Herbert because of all the weapons he has. Looking at the Los Angeles Chargers with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, you can see that they have a lot of good talent at the receiving position, but I don't think he'll do as good as Isaiah Simmons. We're looking at Joe Burrow. He doesn't have the weapons around him besides T. Higgins, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd. They all are tremendous talents, but without an offensive line, a running game other than Joe Mixon, it could be a problem for him as he's trying to make an impact. Tua has the same position. His O line got better, but his receivers are definitely need help. Now to go with Isaiah Simmons. When you look at the Arizona Cardinals defense, they probably had they according to yards allowed, they definitely had the worst defense. They ranked dead last in yards allowed. They so you can definitely believe that they had one of the worst defenses. But that's not to say their talent is not there. They have so many talented players in Arizona on the defensive side. And with Simmons' versatility, he could be the final piece of the puzzle to the Arizona Cardinals defense being one of the best in the NFC West because they have multiple playmakers on the defensive end. And I'll just list them out for you. Chandler Jones, Isaiah Simmons, Patrick Peterson, Buda Baker, Brian Murphy Jr., and Jordan Hicks. Oh my lord, they have plenty of playmakers on that side. That kind of reminds you of the 49ers defense with how many playmakers they have. And I really feel like because Isaiah Simmons will help them click, I feel like the Cardinals can definitely make the playoffs with their improved offense as well.
Yeah, I think those were great points that you made. But you said Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa were players that will take time. I don't think so. With Joe Burrow, yeah, there's reports saying that he has been studying the Bengals film for before the draft even started, so about a month before that. So with him studying their plays and watching film about them, I think that will really help the Bengals as they then now they can improve, and I know they don't have that many offensive weapons that he can throw to or a running game. I think he can still help that team improve from last year's record. And I think that's what the Bengals are really looking for. They're not looking for to make the playoffs necessarily, but they're looking to improve from last season, and they're not trying to become another team that's going to be a bad team again. They want to improve. So by next season they can be a playoff team. But another player is Justin Jefferson. I think he can fill the hole of Stephon Diggs, and I think he can be more reliable than him. And you look at Stephon Diggs; he wasn't as reliable, and now since he got traded to the Bills, I think with Justin Jefferson, I think he you can rely on him, and with all their weapons, he was just added when he just added to that. I think that helps Kirk Cousins with all the options he has on the field.
Okay, so from what I heard, I see Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson. I definitely agree that they're great players, but the question was how much of an impact, which player rookie would have the best impact on the team? And I feel like I get what you're saying. With Joe Burrow, they're trying to improve, but that's all they're trying to do, improve. I don't think they'll unless okay for Joe Burrow to have the biggest impact on the team. I would say um, the Bengals would have to have at least 6 wins next year to improve by 4 games, and I feel like that's the only way that he will um, be named the rookie who gave the biggest impact because the Bengals, that's really all they're trying to do, like you said, improve. And I don't feel like improving means that they'll have the biggest impact. Justin Jefferson, he's definitely a great player. Let's be honest. He's definitely a great player. Played at LSU with Joe Burrow, had a great season. But at the wide receiver position, you aren't really a game changer unless you're already established one of the top receivers in the game. And he wasn't even one of the top 3 receivers in his own draft. So because of you're looking at Jerry Judy, Henry Ruggs, and CeeDee Lamb, because he isn't even one of the best receivers in that draft, I wouldn't say that he's exactly going to be an instant impact playmaker for the Vikings. He'll definitely be a good wide receiver, but he won't be that he won't be that person who takes them to the next level after filling that hole caused by Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I think I'd have to disagree with you on the Joe Burrow part because I think Joe Burrow can be a player that helps his teammates out and make them look better. Like an example of this is like Tom Brady. He makes the team look better even with his age. He's still a
I'm
great
not I'm
quarterback.
not dispu- I'm not disputing that. I definitely think that he'll make them improve. But do you think he's the rookie that'll have the greatest impact on his specific team?
Yeah, I think he can make his teammates around him better because he's learned the playbook and he knows what to expect.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but is he going to improve the Bengals enough as Simmons probably will improve the defense of the Cardinals enough?
But you have to look at where Simmons is. Like already has a core built around him, so he just fits in perfectly. So I think with him, you can't really say that he'll have an impact because he's just another guy that can help them. With Joe Burrow, I think you can say that he'll have an impact on the team and help them improve. And maybe next year you can see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I have to dispute that. Just because they have a core on them doesn't mean they have to make they're not going to make a big impact. The 49ers, they were pretty bad before Nick Bosa came in his rookie year last season. Do you think Nick Bosa made a big impact on that team?
Yeah, he has, but they have to look. You have to look at their other players like Richard Sherman. He was one of those key players, and even Jimmy Garoppolo. He made others around him. That's why they got to the Super Bowl. So I think,
Yeah, but I'm just saying what that defense was pretty underwhelming until Nick Bosa came,
yeah,
and they already had a good group of core guys with them, and I feel like Isaiah Simmons will be the exact same case.
yeah, I think um, this year's draft class is very stacked, and they have very good players that can have impact on their teams.